What does Intel must do to make a comeback? This is the most important question. Because if they do the right thing, the stock price will rebound. From $19 back to 50 and grow even more. So if you understand this and the company Intel follows the next steps, then you can be sure that the stock price will rebound. From this level, it may double. So let's continue with what Intel must do. The first thing they have to do is to get rid of their foundry. Why is that? Because the answer is simple. If you look at their losses, their margins for Intel Foundry, you can see those declines. Quarter by quarter, they delivered only losses, over 1 billion. And the last quarter, a loss over 5 billion, close to 6 billion. But this is not all. If you look at the revenue from Q3 2023 to Q3 2024, you see that the revenue has declined from 4.7 billion to 4.4 billion. So they invested a lot of money in different facilities, but they are not making any improvements. Revenue is flat, a small decline, and huge losses. You can see here. This is the first thing Intel has to do so that the stock price can rebound. The good news is that Intel announced, they have the intention to establish Intel Foundry as an independent subsidiary. And if they can get rid of this subsidiary completely, that will be a plus for Intel. Because if you look at the other segments, they are profitable. And if they get rid of this foundry, their profits will increase. So Intel can report a profit and pay its dividend. Now, this is not all. They also have to do other things in order to maintain their revenue and earnings. And the next step is to focus on data center and AI. If they also follow this step, then for sure the stock price will go up, will double from the current level. For the moment, if you look at what products they have, they are in the early stages. They have Xeon and Gaudi. But the demand is not that high for their products to make a big jump in the revenue. If you look at data center and AI segment, you can see that the revenue is almost flat. So the demand for the products is quite low for the moment. They are working to develop new products to improve their Intel Xeon processor and develop new chips, Intel 18A. They are in the stage of developing for this product, and if they can succeed, and of course this product offers high performance, then you might see an improvement in their revenue for data center. If they can double the revenue for this segment, that will be quite great, because the earnings will get higher, and when they have more earnings, the stock price will go up. Easy, if they can do that. Now, if you look at the other products, Intel Data Center GPU, they only have one product. So in this area of data center and GPUs, they are quite weak. They have Intel Gaudi for enterprise, but still they don't have a high performance chip for AI, especially for data centers. So they have to focus more on this niche where the demand is quite high. If they can come up with something better than what's on the market, then Intel can be a huge winner next year. Now, the next step that Intel has to do is to improve their client computing group. Because as you can see, this segment, client computing group, they have high margins And this is a huge plus for Intel. They have a moat in this segment. But as you can see, the revenue has declined compared to last year from 7.9 billion to 7.3 billion. Their margins have improved, but the demand is not that high. So they also have to improve this segment or maintain it at the same level so that you can see a rebound in the stock price, a comeback. Now, to assess the demand for this segment, you have to look at the market. And if you look at the estimates, you can see that they have 4 different types of consumers or clients. The first one is normal consumers like us, commercial, enterprise companies, government, and education. And the highest demand is from enterprise and consumers. It is expected next year an increase in that area. Now, if you look at other reports from 2024 to 2025, that growth rate, the demand won't be that high. It is expected to be around 2 and 3%. So this is likely to happen. The future demand for Intel segment, client computing group, where they sell desktops, notebooks, and other chips. But the highest part of the revenue comes from notebooks and desktops. So they have to improve this segment because they lost an important client, Apple. Plus, they also face competition from ARM, a new architecture, and of course competition from AMD. So they have to improve this segment, create better chips, and gain their market share to improve this revenue, which is going down. If Intel does all those 3 things, improve their client computing group, focus on data center and AI, and gets rid of their foundry, a losing segment, then the stock price of Intel for sure will rebound. A lot, quite a lot. Now, you also have to assess their future demand. You've seen that for client computing group, the demand, the growth rate, future growth rate, isn't that high, between 2 and 5% a year. And this is an important question. You can ask your friends and others. How likely are you to consider an AI PC powered by Intel for your next purchase? If the answer is positive, very likely, and of course you have to ask more people, then Intel will succeed for sure. If the answer is not likely, then Intel won't do well. Now, this question is more likely for this segment, consumer. For commercial and government, things can be quite different because as they have a good distribution channel in these 2 segments, they can increase their revenue. But be aware, the consumers also represents a big part of their revenue. As you can see, 27,000 shipments, commercial enterprise 42, and education 10, and the government only 4,000. So you have to see and assess their future demand. If Intel is likely to sell more in the future, if they can do that and get rid of the Intel foundry and focus only on these 2 segments, data center and AI and cloud computing group, then they can become profitable again and the stock price can come back. You see their margins are quite high for client computing group. And for data center, if they produce better products, better chips, they can also improve these margins. So, if you have other questions about Intel, please let me know in the comments.